Steeler Nation, our team is in constant pursuit of improvement. From the front office to the coaching staff, from the rookies to the seasoned vets, every single person is working to sharpen their edge so that we can bring the best results possible to Pittsburgh. And listen, before we dive into today's huge story, make sure you smash that like button because it helps get this news out to more members of the Black and Gold family. And if you're new here, subscribe so you don't miss a single update. This season, trust me, you're going to want to be along for this ride. This week, at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, things got a little tense and then a little better when it comes to one of the Steelers' biggest offseason acquisitions, superstar cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Now, I don't have to tell you how important Ramsey is to this defense. When Omar Khan pulled the trigger to bring him here, trading away Minkah Fitzpatrick in the process, the message was clear. Pittsburgh is going in on building a secondary that can shut down anybody. But over the past few days, Ramsey was missing from practice. No game reps, no drills, no visible presence on the field. Fans started asking questions, reporters started sniffing around, and whispers about an injury started to pick up steam. And sure enough, Coach Mike Tomlin confirmed Ramsey had been dealing with an undisclosed injury and was being held out as a precaution. In fact, he was one of 13 starters who didn't suit up for the preseason opener against Jacksonville. And that's where the concern kicked in for a lot of UB, because you know that chemistry and reps matter, especially for a player walking into a brand new system. Well, here's the good news. Ramsey was back on the field Monday afternoon. Under that blazing Latrobe sun, we saw him stretching, moving, and even participating in some team drills. Not full contact yet, but active enough to calm some of those worst-case scenario fears. After practice, Tomlin downplayed any sense of panic. He told reporters, quote, "It's just day to day. He'll be back. I think he's scheduled to participate tomorrow. Obviously Thursday, working against the Tampa Bay Bucks, is a big day." Tomlin also pointed out something he always preaches, that when a big-name vet like Ramsey is out, it opens up valuable reps for young players and fringe roster guys who are fighting to prove themselves. And that's a silver lining in situations like this. It's not just about the star, it's about the depth. Make no mistake, Jalen Ramsey is here to transform this defense. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, and still one of the most dangerous cornerbacks in the game at age 30. Last season, he notched 2 interceptions and 11 pass breakups numbers that don't even tell the full story of his impact. What he brings isn't just athleticism, it's attitude, it's swagger. It's a no-nonsense, get-to-your-face mentality that raises the energy of everyone around him. And now, paired with Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr., the Steelers' cornerback room isn't just solid, it might be one of the best in the entire league. But folks, that wasn't the only headline to come out of Monday. Because right alongside the Ramsey update, we had Heyward, yes, the heart and soul of the Steelers' defense, publicly airing out some frustration about his contract. Now, Heyward signed a new deal less than a year ago. But here we are, and he's saying he's underpaid compared to other players at his position. He told reporters he's 22nd in pay among defensive tackles and 36th among all defensive linemen. And that doesn't sit right with him after the season he just had, an All-Pro season. At 35 years old, and here's where it gets spicy, Heyward says that when he signed the deal last year, he warned the Steelers front office that if he put up an All-Pro year, he'd be coming back to renegotiate. According to Cam, the response from the team, they giggled. Well, guess what? He went out and delivered exactly what he said he would. And now, he's holding them to it. Everything is reportedly on the table, including the possibility of missing games if this doesn't get resolved before the regular season kicks off. This is where things get tricky, Steelers Nation. You've got Ramsey coming off a minor injury scare, Heyward pressing for a new deal, and a locker room that just went through one of the most dramatic off-seasons in team history. At the same time, this is a roster built to win now. Aaron Rodgers is at quarterback. DK Metcalf is in the wide receiver room. The defensive healthy has the makings of a top 5 unit. But championship windows don't stay open forever. And distractions, they can slam those windows shut real fast. Heyward isn't just any player. He's a leader, a tone setter, and a guy the young defenders look up to. The Steelers have about 3 weeks to figure this out before week 1. That's not a lot of time. Here's the situation. The Steelers' wide receiver room in 2025 was already under the microscope heading into camp. Sure, DK Metcalf is here to be the alpha, the guy who's going to draw double teams and still make plays, but even with his elite talent, he can't carry the entire load by himself. We knew Calvin Austin, 3 and second year, and Roman Wilson were going to have to step up big this season. The offense was built with the idea that those two, along with Metcalf, could stretch defenses, create mismatches, and open things up for Aaron Rodgers to do his thing. But now, we've hit a bump in the road, and it's got a lot of fans uneasy. Calvin Austin 3, one of the fastest and most explosive weapons on this roster, hasn't practiced in quite some time. And we're not talking about missing a day or two. We're now 11 days into the month, and Steelers insider Mike DeFabo reports that Austin still hasn't returned to the field. Now, we don't have word of a major season-threatening injury. But let's be real. When you're this close to the start of the season and a key player in your passing game is missing extended practice time, it's not ideal, especially for an offense that's trying to build timing and chemistry with a brand new quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Think about it. Defenses already know they're going to key in on DK Metcalf. Without Austin's speed to threaten deep and for safeties to respect the other side of the field, you risk becoming predictable. And that is the last thing this team can afford in a year, where the AFC is loaded with high-powered offenses. Let's break this down. In 2024, Austin hauled in 36 catches for 548 yards and 4 touchdowns. Not monster numbers, but remember, this was in a role that was still developing. He also gave the team valuable special teams production, returning punts and kicks with that burst that makes him dangerous every time. He touches the ball. What makes him so critical isn't just the stats, it's the role he plays in the bigger picture. Austin's ability to stretch the field vertically means cornerbacks can't squat on routes. His threat to take the top off a defense opens the underneath game for guys like Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Darnell Washington. It also opens up lanes for Najee Harris and Jalen Warren in the run game. Without him, defenses can cheat toward Metcalf and focus their attention in the middle of the field, forcing Rodgers to make more contested throws. So what happens if Austin's absence lingers? Well, the Steelers do have options, but they're not ideal. Roman Wilson is healthy now and has the tools to be an impact player, but he's still essentially untested after an injury-riddled rookie year. The tight end group might become more involved than ever. Freiermuth, Smith, and Washington are capable of eating up a lot of targets, especially in the short to intermediate range. That could be the fallback plan. Use the tight ends to move the chains and set up the occasional deep shot to Metcalf. But if you're the Steelers, you want your offense to have balance. You want Rodgers to have a full arsenal, and you want the defense to have to prepare for multiple legitimate threats. That's why getting Austin back sooner rather than later is such a priority now. I know some of you might be thinking, hey, it's training camp. Maybe this is just precautionary. And yeah, that could be the case. The last thing you want is to push a player too hard in August and lose him for October. But here's the flip side. Austin's not just another receiver. His speed is unique on this roster. If he's missing this much time, he's missing valuable reps in Arthur Smith's new offensive system. He's missing the chance to get on the same page with Rodgers in live situations. And that's the kind of thing you can't fully replicate once the regular season hits. So, here's what I'm watching for in the coming days. 1. Ramsey's progression. Does he return to full practice by the Bucs' joint sessions on Thursday? That'll be the real test of whether he's 100% or if this injury is still lingering. 2. Heyward's negotiations. Does Omar Khan step in and find a middle ground? Or are we really heading toward a possible holdout from the face of our defensive line? 3. Defensive chemistry with Ramsey, Slay, Porter Jr., and the rest of the unit. Can this defense start the season firing on all cylinders? Or will these bumps in the road slow down the momentum? I'll tell you this, Steelers Nation nobody said the road to Lombardi #7 would be easy. But moments like this, they test the resolve of a team. They test the leadership in the locker room and in the front office. And they test us as fans to see if we're truly ready to ride through the highs and the lows. So, I want to hear from you. Are you worried about Ramsey's health? Do you think the Steelers should give Heyward the raise he's asking for? And what do you think these early training camp storylines mean for our chances this season? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because I read every single one of them. And don't forget, hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe so you never miss an update. We've got an incredible season ahead, and we'll be here covering every twist, turn, and touchdown. Until next time, here we go, Steelers.